never seen this up.
Okay, now I have a question. Now, what I've been hearing, Bitten was Bitten the slave captain or something? That's why, like, was
Don't
he
worry, I
back
screwed
in
up
the
his last
day-
name twice already.
Was
So
he back up in the day a slave? Bitten.
Biden.
Biden. I said Biden.
it's okay. I've done it too. That's why I'm laughing. I was like I've done it too.
Like, was he a slave captain, like, back in the day when slavery was going up or, like...
Good question.
Yeah, Biden.
Biden just got elected president.
Yeah, the man that just got elected president that's going against Trump.
Well, he wasn't a slave captain because he wasn't alive when there was slavery.
Okay. So,
One of the things about him though is the fact that he did in fact in the 70s fight against desegregation of schools and stuff like that, which is why I was kind of shocked that he became, the nominee.
right.
I was kind of like, wait, what? Why are you putting a guy that didn't want you to go to school with me, and said that my kids shouldn't go to a school in a racial jungle? I mean, I come fucking unglued when I heard that.
Exactly.
Trump, I
That's
feel like
why
Trump, he
it's so
wasn't doing
many
none of the stuff like he had his
questions.
ways with things, you feel me?
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
to me, it's just like I don't know what to do.
I never
Like,
met a
when I
Ku
went to a vote, I don't know who
Right,
to
I
vote
don't
for.
Yeah. And that's the unfortunate divide in the questions that everybody has is who's going to help, who's actually going to help us, what's going to do,
Become famous,
I
Well, that was,
So was he a part of it?
yeah, I mean, some of the things that Biden did say, I'm like, oh my God, he did this in his, throughout his career, and now all of a sudden he's for everybody, he's for you, he's for me. What?
that's what I was saying.
That didn't-
That's what I was saying.
and on the perspective of of the former president of Trump, I had questions about that as well, because he did. I mean, he took in her family was murdered.
Trump
Yeah,
had been
Trump, I feel like Trump, he did his ups and downs. That's all I can say.
Everybody
Yeah, that's
does.
all I say.
Everybody
do that too,
does.
though, so it's not really.
White House, like,
He wasn't really bad type shit. You feel me? Like everybody have their ups and downs with them.
Yeah.
He did what he could do, like for instance with Obama.
Yeah.
He did what he could do, and he did some things that we didn't like.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what every kind of president, like every president, they do things that we don't like. They do things that we like.
You'll never find a perfect one.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
Nobody's perfect.
You'll never find a perfect one, and that's. I mean, I was on the opposite, on the opposition during the Obama administration, but it wasn't because of who he was. It was I was worried about how how he was manipulating the healthcare. I was worried about that, and you'd be surprised. I mean, I'm obviously not, and I was called everything but my name. I was called a neo-Nazi. I was called racist. I'm like, no, I just had questions about his policies.
There's a lot that's going on right now. You feel me? All like the racial and stuff like that. I feel like if we all just go ahead and get together,
We got to get together. We got to get together.
We all human. I feel like no disrespect to another elders, nothing like that. You feel me? But I feel like that you sit two kids inside school, inside a room, anything, two babies, different colors or whatever.
Yeah.
They can play and everything. You feel me?
Yeah.
I feel like it's all from this history that's going on. So if we try to make some new history, we can actually turn things around. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and that.
Like right now, I have a lot of different racial friends. You feel me? Like shit.
If we walked into a bar or a restaurant or something like that and seen President Obama there, I'd go up and buy that man a beer. That's the president of the motherfucking United States. I'm like, dude, he's here. I was like, just don't talk politics with me because I didn't agree with what you did, but you're still. I recognize you're my guy. You were the president. You're my guy.
Everybody not gonna agree on the same thing. You feel me?
No. And you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, like right here, right now. I mean, you could have a complete disagreement on something, but I'm still not gonna. Yeah, we're Americans, man. So. Oh, I'm so sorry. I walked right in your shot, sir. Well, I didn't think anything was going to go on. I really didn't. It's just. I mean, I understand the in a way, the overabundance of caution, but I think this was a bit much. But the way things have gone, even all over the country in the last 4 years. You just never know anymore.
Yeah.
You just don't know. And I'm not saying on a side perspective or anything else like that. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to go on, so
You gotta just gotta expect the unexpected. Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely feel that. So I thought there, like, I didn't expect like a big run or anything, but I thought maybe we usually get on the weekends a group of like 20 or so,
Yeah.
and they're never violent or anything like that. It's just the reopen Illinois, some Trump supporters, and like a mixture of people that are upset with Pritzker.
Yeah.
That was really what I was expecting.
I expected a few more. Even the same. I expected at least a few more. Even maybe some of the opposition. But I mean, I went past the Lincoln Museum and stuff like that. Did some nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think the thing to watch though is going to be DC later.
Yeah.
See if anything pops up there.
Yeah, I got a couple friends that live out that way, and actually I've been in contact with them saying, I was like, anything happening? And they're like, no, it's really quiet. And it said the same thing, but
at least the inauguration went through, nothing happened there. That's a good sign.
Yeah, and that's another, regardless of political affiliation, that should be one thing that should not be screwed with.
I talked to one of the most popular Republicans in town, Tim Butler, yesterday, and he said, like, the same things that coming up. The inauguration is supposed to be a celebration for the whole country, regardless of who's going in.
Right.
It was so wrong and upsetting to see the whole country like this one up.
Yeah.
So,
I did a piece on it a long time ago about the rise of how these things were coming. Like even during the Bush administration, and then Obama, and then Trump, and then now. I was like, you see the progression, like almost the anger, and it's building up and it's building up and it's building up and it's getting worse and worse every year. We went from as far back as Clinton, a few thousand protesters at the inauguration to, for Bush, there was over 1 million. And then, you move on to Trump, there was, 1 million plus. And now, it's been increasing, more strange, more violent, I guess. And I mean, political affiliation aside, that's bullshit. It is. It's complete bullshit. If either one of you, have that kind of issue, then stay home.
yeah.
Don't be a part of the problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's only going to cause drama. So.
yeah, let your voices be heard. Absolutely, let your voices be heard, because that's what makes this country great. But don't be a jackass. And I guess on a technical aspect, I'd be considered to be on the right, but I don't like labels. I don't believe in that crap. But I'll tell you one thing. I mean, the second that I saw the footage of them, entering the Capitol, I blew a gasket. Like, what the, are you guys doing? What are you doing? That's not what you're there for. You're there to protest. You're not there to cause violence. What the hell are you doing? I
think that really shocked a lot of people and woke them up.
Yeah. Well, and that's a double-edged sword, though. I mean, at one point, are they hearing some voices now? Yeah, they're scared shitless. Of course they're hearing the voices now. But at the same time, they were hearing you before. You didn't have to enter that building.
Yeah, that was actually one of the protests the same weekend. Actually, it was the same day that it happened. I talked to the organizer, and I asked her, I said, should that have happened? She was like, well, I don't necessarily agree with them going in the way that they did, going through people's offices and everything.
Yeah.
But they heard us back. And I said, well, if people want or not, there's going to be a new president in a few days. Will this movement die, or will it continue? And she said, they've awoken a sleeping beast.
Right.
And
I agree with that. I really do. But at the same time, that's not the sleep. In that aspect, it's not the sleeping beast that we want to be, awakened. and so to speak. I mean, I want people's voices to be heard. That's what I do. But anytime that there's any sort of violence in it, it loses its message. And
you look back at the footage and see them attacking the officer, it's like,
yeah.
People don't even know what his beliefs were. He's just doing his job.
Right.
It's nuts.
Right.
I
And
did think it was pretty cool that they invited the officer that ran the Capitol through the opposite way.
Yeah.
He was in the inauguration.
Oh, was he?
They let him walk down the aisle.
I was listening. I was on my way up here, so I didn't.
It was pretty cool. I saw it before I left. Yeah, that is coming up on a national platform like that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
There could have been a lot more people injured or killed if things didn't just. He basically, if you see a video of this guy, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Smart thinking there, taking them the opposite way. I mean, that was nuts.
Yep. Well, like I said, the second they entered the building, that was stupid. That was well beyond what they should have been doing.